Good? All right. All right, we will go ahead and get started here with Scottie Scheffler, two-time defending champion of the WM Phoenix Open. Scottie just finished 9 holes of your Pro-Am. I guess just some opening comments on being back here and how the game's feeling heading into the week.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I have some good memories here. You know, my first win was here in 22, and then to be able to win again last year was a lot of fun. Yeah, good to be back. Weather's a bit different than we're used to here in Phoenix, but it looks like the forecast is shaping up a little bit better for the weekend, and yeah, should be another fun week.
All right, well, we'll just go right into questions. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand, and we will we'll get a microphone over to you. Yep, straight back here. Yep, go ahead.
Hey, Scottie. As someone who's participated and been successful in this event in the past, what aspects of this course do you think are challenging, and do you think your experience kind of presents some benefits for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think ball striking around this golf course is important. Dealing with the fans, I think, is also important. You know, it's a little bit different than a lot of the tournaments that we play, and you know that provides some fun stuff, but some challenges as well. You know, with the noise and all that, and so it's just stuff that you got to deal with out there on the course. But it's definitely a lot of fun playing in this event. You know, it's fun getting. It's not as fun getting booed, but it's fun getting the loud cheers out there. You know, when you do something good, but you know you pay the price when you hit a bad shot too. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun being able to play in front of this many people.
Yep, go ahead. Yep.
Hey, Scottie. You've played 16 a couple times now. What is the best way to keep your composure and focus on number 15, knowing you're headed to the stadium right afterwards?
Well, number 15 is a hole that you really got to take advantage of out here. So it's pretty easy to stay focused on that one because you like at that point in the round, you know, you're usually looking for a couple birdies, and I feel like when I've been coming down the stretch here, 15 is an important hole to be able to steal one on, you know, make a birdie or eagle. But yeah, you always hear the noise from 16 when pretty much when you're anywhere on the course, you kind of know what's happening over there. But yeah, just try and focus on the task at hand, I guess.
What's the best way to play that hole, you think, in the conditions expected for this weekend?
15?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where the wind is going to be. It might be into the wind, so it could be pretty tough to get there in 2. Typically, you know, it's a very gettable par 5, but if it's going to be blowing pretty hard into the wind, I don't think many guys are going to be able to get home.
Yep, try back here.
Hi, Scottie. Is there a way to prepare for the atmosphere that you face here? Like, obviously, there's a way to prepare for each hole, right, and the drives and the putts, but what do you do on the mental side when it comes to dealing with hecklers, people shouting, and trying to grind your gears?
I was about to say, I'm fairly used to the heckling. You know, where I practice at home, I got a good group of guys that we play golf with, and you know, I get heckled pretty often. And then when I'm practicing on the range, there's usually a group of 10 to 15-year-old kids that are trashing me all the time. So the heckling is something that I'm pretty used to.
And just a quick follow-up. We've seen maybe adrenaline get the best of some guys down the stretch, especially on a hole like 17 where it's kind of easy to find the water. How do you keep that under control when the pressure is on as you get late into the weekend?
Yeah, I think 17 is one of those holes where you want to try and hit a great shot. You know, the green is actually pretty good size for a drivable hole, but that water really sneaks in on the left side. And so I just try to stay committed to my line off the tee, you know, try not to force things there and just hit, you know, really just a quality shot.
Yep, Gabby, go ahead right here.
Hey, Scottie, how's your putter feeling?
Good.
What are you working? What are you working on right now in your putting?
I'm still doing a little bit of the technical stuff. I improving the setup, improving the stroke mechanics, and the ball coming off my blade right now feels really good. And it's nice seeing greens like this. You know, the Poe last week can be challenging to kind of figure out where you're at with your putting, and getting on the pure greens like this week. It's it's a bit different, but good.
How important is pre-shot routine for you on the greens as compared to the actual stroke mechanics?
I would say I try to be as natural as possible, whether I'm hitting a full shot or a putt. And so a lot of that is just having the same routine that I do over and over again. And so I would say that's a big part of it. I'm definitely not thinking about my stroke when I'm on the course. I'm just trying to be as athletic as possible and just hit good putts.
And as you've been working on your putting over the last year or so, have you changed that pre-shot routine at all?
I'd say a decent amount. I've fiddled around with it a little bit, just trying to, like I said, be reactive and athletic. I think at times last year I could have probably overthought things a little bit, trying to force the ball into the hole. But, right now, I'm treating it more like I would my full swing, where I'm just focused on trying to hit good putts and not really worrying about whether or not the ball's going to go in the hole.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll just go over in the back here. Yep.
Scottie, last year the narrative going into the final round was you and John Rahm were in the final group, but Nick Taylor was in the final group, and it was Nick that actually challenged you and pushed you the most. Wonder if you can just revisit that battle that ultimately was between you and Nick coming down the stretch and what you saw from his game.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of the depth that we have out here on tour. You know, Nick played a great final round last year, and you know, fortunately, I was able to edge him out a little bit. But I think that's just, you know, some of the talent you see out here on tour. And you know, Nick's a guy that's won out here a couple times, and he's a proven winner. And I think he proved that last year as well with his final round. I think it's not the easiest position, I would say, to be paired in the final round with John and me. You know, I think that would be kind of the story that people want to tell. Definitely going into the final round, but then he, you know, made himself a big part of the story as the round kind of played out, and yeah, it was a good battle.
Okay, Karen, right here.
Scottie, after the tennis player Jannik Sinner won the Australian Open, video surfaced of him putting his trophy through the X-ray machine in the Dubai airport, which got me to thinking, you guys get some pretty big hardware. How does that work? Do they send you the trophies? Have you ever had any weird trophy mishaps getting it home?
Getting it home, not really. Usually after the tournament, you take a bunch of pictures and sign a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of media. You kind of lose the trophy usually. Like I think this, yeah, it's like Hero this year. I think we were leaving to go to the airport to go home, and I was like, I wonder where the trophy is. I had no idea where it was, and they ended up sending it a couple weeks later in the mail. And I think this tournament's the same way, where I don't ever really leave. I think tournaments with the trophy. I think maybe the only one I actually left with was maybe Players, but I don't even know if I did there. Masters, you leave with the jacket, which is nice. That one, you know, I wasn't going to give that back.
Do they make it through the mail and shipping in one piece? Or, I mean, especially that Hero trophy is humongous.
I was about to say the Hero one, they didn't send the whole, like, big thing. I just got, like, the top part. If it had been sent broken, my manager would probably know the answer to that. I don't know if I would ever receive one that was broken, but I don't think I have. I may have broken one, but I don't think they would send me broken.
All right, we'll just stay right here with Kevin right here. Yeah.
Scottie, were you familiar with like the legend of this tournament at all when you were a kid, the Tiger Ace on 17 or anything like that? What comes to mind of what you thought this tournament was like?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to go back a few years. Yeah, I think this is one of the tournaments you always paid attention to. Just I think because of the way number 16 is, and that's really kind of what everybody thinks about when it comes to this tournament. But you know, the golf course is actually really good as well. It's a fun golf course to play, and every year we come back, there's more and more stuff being built, and so there's just more and more, you know, arena type holes and big crowds, and so like I said, it's a lot of fun to hole a 15-footer and have that huge roar, and you know, there's definitely this tournament maxes out the amount of people they can have out every day, and you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are a bit busier here than they are at a lot of other stops, but yeah, growing up, I always wanted to play on the PGA Tour, and you know, this was definitely one of the events that I wanted to be a part of, and you know, really feel what 16 was like, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting to play that hole a few times.
When you think of like electric sporting events you've been to outside of golf, are there any that come to mind that were like energy was super crazy and like locks into your mind?
Any other sporting events?
Mm-hmm.
I think Texas OU, the football game every year, is pretty special when you have half the stadium, you know, rooting for the Sooners and half rooting for the Longhorns, and you know, no matter what happens, it seems like one side's really loud and the other side's really quiet, and the energy is a lot of fun, and yeah, I'd say that one sticks out.
Do you yell as a fan? Like, are you pretty boisterous?
Sometimes. I think usually when I watch games, if I'm watching by myself, I think I usually will yell at the TV a little bit. But if we're with people, they're usually yelling at the TV. And then, like, if I watch a game with my dad, he's usually yelling at the TV, and I'm quiet. So I think in my head, somebody has to be yelling always at some point. And so if I'm by myself, it's got to be me. But if it's other people, if I'm with other people, they're usually yelling for me.
And then lastly, just general question, but what would you say makes this tournament special?
I just think the crowds. I mean, getting to play the back nine here is really special. There's a lot of excitement always. You know, like I said, getting to play the Pro-Am here is always fun. You get paired with fun people, and yeah, it's just a good time. It's a nice change of pace for us as players. I think sometimes we can get a little bit, too serious with ourselves, and so it's fun kind of coming out here like this morning. You come to warm up on the driving range, and like the music is so loud I can barely even hear myself think out there on the range. And I look at Tim like, what is this place? It's crazy. It's a lot different than the rest of the stuff that we play throughout the year, but it's a lot of fun.
All right, we're just gonna do 2 more, just right here. And,
Hey, Scotty. It seems like every week you tee it up, you kind of have a chance to win, and obviously it's very hard to win out here. I'm just wondering internally what that trade-off is between maybe frustration coming up short versus a sense of accomplishment playing so well the entire week.
I was about to say there's always frustration, I think, when you don't win tournaments, and whether I finish 50th or second, I'm going to be frustrated that I didn't win. But yeah, I've definitely been proud of how I've put myself in position over the last couple years, and I've been able to win a decent amount of tournaments as well. And so those are the memories I try and hold on to, and yeah, like I said, I'm definitely very proud of always putting myself in position. It's always the goal at the beginning of the week is to have a chance to win, and so being able to play in the last group in final rounds and compete in arenas like this, with everything on the line is very special, and it's a lot of fun for me.
Right. Sammy, just in the back, yep.
Scotty, you're looking to three-peat this year. Is there another place on tour or a place that you've played where you walk into the week and it just kind of suits your eye, it suits your game, and you feel really comfortable in a place like this or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think when I'm swinging well and I'm playing good golf, I can get comfortable on a lot of different courses. So usually I think it depends on how I'm feeling kind of going into the week, but it is nice coming to a place like this where I've had a lot of success and a lot of great memories. The last 2 years here have been really special. The first year being able to win in the playoff, and then last year being able to kind of just have a great final round and kind of separate myself from everybody else, and being able to walk up 18, kind of knowing I had it in hand was a lot of fun too.
All right, we're just going to finish up with Sonny from Make-A-Wish.
Hey, Scotty. I was wondering if you have any advice on how to stay optimistic and calm during the round.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, it's all about my preparation. So when I go out onto the first tee, I just remind myself that I've done everything I could to play well. And so what that means is when I'm at home, I practice as hard as I can. I remain focused. And then when I step up there on the first tee, it's all about controlling what I can control. And so all I can do on the first tee is have a shot in mind and just try and do my best to hit that shot, and the rest isn't up to me. I may get a bad bounce in the fairway. Ball may run into a divot. I may get a gust of wind, but all I can do is focus on controlling, what I do versus everything else. And so I'd say that's probably the best way to try and stay calm out there. Yeah.
All right, Scotty, thanks for the time. Best of luck this week.
All right. Thanks, y'all.